New Year's resolution. You've heard that before. This is the week of holiday week, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, you name it. And it's a time to feast and feed yourself and the fear of gaining weight, just as the new year is around the corner. And what happens around New Year's? New Year's resolution. I'm going to do this. You set up targets, and by the end of the month in January, 90% of the New Year's resolutions have already failed. Hello, my name is Dr. Prakash Chougule. I'm not a weight expert. I'm not an endocrinologist. I'm not a diet expert. I'm a cancer specialist. But I do have a word or two about the morbidity that has engulfed not only America, but going around the world. And that is weight gain weight, obesity, overweight, leading to many other comorbid conditions, which in our field of cancer is a major problem, because cancer often is a fearful word and people always are afraid cancer equates to death. It's not the case. A good 50% of the cancer patients are cured and they go on with their life if they are healthy otherwise. But a good 2/3 of the cancer patients have associated conditions such as diabetes, blood pressure, cardiac disease, pulmonary disease. Many of them are associated with overweight or obesity. And today that's what we're going to talk about. Broadly, not so much. In coming weeks and months, I will be very specific. So what makes me an expert? I'm not an expert, but I'm, I think, fairly knowledgeable. And I may be the right person to talk about obesity and overweight because, for one thing, I've been in the United States for several years, and it's not so much pride as much as the feeling that I can help other people. I came to America, and since college and high school days, I've really maintained the same weight. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, same weight. Actually, it's not true. I've gained, I would say, maybe 8 or 10 pounds or 4 or 5 kgs of good weight. And I'll tell you what I mean by good weight. What happens when you come from a country like India with high aims and high goals, you come from a very different background. I'll never forget many of my friends and contacts who had been in this country before. They said, don't you worry, because within weeks and months, you would have gained 30 pounds of weight. That's what America does to you. It's a land of plenty. As a matter of fact, my first mentor and my first professor boss who I worked with happened to come from the northeastern state of Bihar, which at the time, many years ago, was one of the poorest states in the country. And when he met me, he said, you know, Dr. Chougule, I used to be 97 pounds when I came to America, and today I weigh 230 pounds. So don't you worry, you're going to be like me. And I didn't want to get into a discussion with him. I said, no, I'll never fall into that trap, because I knew what I was getting into. I was always athletic, always fit, and I knew making right choices in life and about everything is what keeps you healthy. So what is about weight? Why is weight such an issue now? Because as scary as it is, and America may be one of the worst examples of health in the world actually, because we not only have, Americans have taken up bad habits, but we are passing it around the world. Processed foods, fast foods. So much so that a good 40 to 50% of Americans may not only be overweight, but they may have other health-associated conditions. The worrisome part is children and adolescents. We are in an era where a good 20 to 30% of children, adolescents, are also overweight, and some of them are actually obese. What's the difference? Well, the official terminology is that if you weigh more than 20% of what you should, it falls under the category of obesity. So that's where we are, and they are now, children and adolescents are getting adult onset diabetes. So where do we start and where do we end on this problem? Well, you often see, think about it. This is a generation where you have your parents and grandparents healthier than what you are. Isn't that the case? Your grandfather or father maybe in the 80s and 90s looking healthy because they're doing something right that you are not. And they have good habits, they go for a walk, they eat small portions. And here you are in your 30s, 40s with ailments that they should be having. Chronic back pain and knee pain and hip pain and not able to carry on themselves. Kind of getting used to sedentary life, driving motorcycles and cars, not taking the steps but taking elevators, simple things that could keep you healthy. So, the cliche is, it's diet and exercise stupid, that's what they say. Well, to be honest with you, both are very important and I follow both of them. But of the two, if I had to choose, what is it? You probably may not guess what I'm going to say is the diet. Diet meaning, the word diet is kind of misleading, but food, what you put on your plate, what you put on their table. This is holiday season. It started on Thanksgiving weekend and leading into the holidays, when the central table is all filled up, you're with family members, you don't think self-control and mind control is 90% of the battle. Small portions, eating everything is a matter of self-control. If somebody makes a tray of cookies, do you have to taste one of them? You go to India, you have a variety of desserts, all the laddus and burfis, you load up on that. You go to Middle East, you have the baklavas. And within cakes, you have the chocolate and the crème brûlées. And then there's supposed to be just at the end of the dinner, a sampling, but that ends up becoming a meal. People going eating breakfast, stopping by and picking up a muffin or a bagel or a donut. There are muffins that are 1,400 calories. That's 80% of the daily requirement for a lot of people. So controlling that aspect of it is half the battle. So diet is really very important, controlling it. As many years I've been here, I've not touched a donut. Yes, that round thing with a big hole. And not only the big hole, what comes out of that hole, they call them donut holes. They're like by a dessert themselves. Pizza loaded with cheese, salt. Unless you put salt, it's not tasty. So there are some items, you go buy soups. There are soups that are low salt that have 230 milligrams of sodium, and the regular ones have 750 milligrams of sodium. Talk about trouble brewing in your body. So that is what I'll be talking about in coming weeks and months. How do I maintain my weight? What do I eat? When do I eat? What is the proportion? I'm a strict vegetarian, so it's kind of funny. There are two things I want to say. When you come from a country like India, people say, you came from a starving country, this is a land of plenty. Why are you like this? And when I go back to India, often people say, and I'll use this terminology, patle duble ho. So I always tell them I'm patla, meaning I'm thin, but I'm not duble, I'm not weak. I'm stronger than many of my athletic friends, I should say, people I play tennis with and golf with, and it's kept me honest. And the other thing about the weight, just because you weigh what you're supposed to in a range, doesn't mean necessarily you're healthy. One criteria in this country, when I came, the weight that you're supposed to be for your height, both men and women, I was kind of shocked. So I'll give you an example. If you're 5'6", for example, for men, the weight range, I recall going back, was somewhere between 120 and 130 or 34. Well, in America, it was almost 10, 15 pounds heavier. The Americans, you could say, well, they have bigger bones, solid bones. I don't buy that at all. Ethnically, yeah, they may have a different racial characters and protoplasm, but you have to walk into equation no matter which part of the world you are. That you take that scale, 128 to 138 or 138 to 148, and catch that lower number, not the middle number, and make that as your goal to maintain your weight there. The other thing is, before I get into the proportion of the body weight, I have to say this might sound very kind of a historical event. When I left India, right at the airport, there used to be these weighing machines where you stand on a machine and a card spits out that has a weight on one side and there's a film star or actor or actress behind. And I don't even know to tell you when it was printed out, but it's been many, many years. And basically I weigh still the same. And yeah, of course, we wish that you always keep putting this money until you get the actor of your choice. And here I have two cards actually. I did one when I came to get my visa, and the second one 3 months later. So this one is, it says Amitabh Bachchan, wow. And second one I have is Dharmendra. Well, guess what? They both doing quite well. I think Amitabh is 82 or something, and Dharmendra is like 88. They're doing well. But bottom line is, keeping in shape has a lot of challenges. Now, I fall into the category where I weigh normal. But what does that mean? During COVID, something interesting happened. The body weight has four portions, basically. You have 50% of our body is water. And then you have muscle, you have fat, and bones. And the ratio, the bones are bones, they generally don't change much. But the weight, percentage of the body weight that is due to fat and the muscle can be so way off. And that is something I always try to maintain my body fat less than, and people sometimes laugh at me, where is that fat? You know, joke aside, I always try to keep it in the teens, like somewhere between, at one time it used to be 13% and eventually it creeped up to 18, 19%. And during COVID times, you know, it's not like there was not much activity. I never went to gym. I don't believe in gyms, by the way. That's a whole different topic. Nature, natural activity, hiking, biking, playing tennis. When I play golf, 18 holes of golf is 5 miles. And the golf bag is 40 pounds. I carry it, I pull it myself. So I get enough activity, but I crossed that 20% barrier during COVID. And boy, that was a wake-up alarm. And the doctor said, well, don't worry, your overall weight is still the same, but you can do something about it. And literally in a matter of 3 months, the imbalance, I did something to increase my muscle weight and reduce the fat weight and, you know, feel good about it. So I want to stop right there and come back again with very specific things you can do for diet as well as for exercise. And because diet is such a wide world, and especially you come to America, you have so many ethnic foods that you eat. I mean, as vegetarians, so sometimes it's very easy to get hooked to the pastas and the pizzas, and how do you draw the line? And same thing with our Indian diet and Asian diet and the American diet. So I'll come back and thanks for listening. My name is Dr. Prakash Chougule, and I'll come back. Until then, the first of the year is just around the corner. Make a resolution. And this is, of course, the most common resolution you make. What are some of the other resolutions? People who drink alcohol, very difficult. Quitting alcohol, quitting cigarette smoking, trying to give other habits, sleeping late at night, not getting enough sleep. Addiction to mobile phones. How many of you check the times you spend on mobile phone doing WhatsApping and texting and watching movies. The people who spend their life watching movies. We'll talk about all of that and the hazards of that. All right, and so thank you again. My name is Dr. Prakash Chougule. Until I see you again, hopefully less than a week. It's a light day in the clinic today, so I thought I should make this video. All the best, and keep up that goal in your mind. Thank you.